Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another day of Color Craze. This is a series MK and I are doing throughout the month on varying days using color as inspiration. This is the palette that we are using today. I'm also participating in Series 16 of Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. It is a double page series this month, and this is the sketch by Deb Talbrod that I am using. And I really was taken with the stars diagonally across there, so I am going to make you all seasick while I put my camera up. Sorry about that. So I'm going to use this star cut file, and I don't know that I'm going to leave it intact or if I'm going to cut it apart, but I'm going to back the whole thing using this orange paper. Now, I am not going to make you sit through watching me back the whole thing, but I know sometimes people may not be familiar with backing it, so I am showing you one way to do that, and that is to go ahead and glue your cut file down and then cut around it. The other option is to lay it down and either trace the inside of each object and then cut around the traced lines. Usually I do it on the back of the paper, and you have to put the cut file down, face down if the paper is face down, or you can trace on the outside of the object and then cut slightly to the inside of your traced lines. So that is how that is done. Again, not making you sit through all of it, but I did let you watch some of it. I let you. That's so kind of me. You can fast forward through it if you really don't want to see the backing of the cut file. Anyway, I just like to use a little bit of my Nuvo glue, and I kind of keep the line towards the inside of the cut file edges, so that way when I go around with my scissors, I can kind of tilt my scissors a little bit at an angle, so I'm not going straight up and down trying to cut along the edge of those stars. I'm kind of cutting a little bit underneath the black portion of the stars. And then I have these two papers from 49 and Market. One of them is from the Sunkissed collection, the one that I believe I'm cutting currently. The other one, actually they might both be from Sunkissed or Sunburst. Sunburst? Yeah, Sunburst. They might both be from Sunburst, actually. I'm not really sure. But one of them is definitely got a pattern on it with a map, and then the other side of it is it's got stamps on it, like postage stamps. And then the other one is just a mixed media on the other side. And I wasn't really sure which one I was going to use for the mixed media one. I definitely know I'm using the map side up on the one piece of paper, because I don't really want to use the postage stamps, although that is a really cool paper, but just not for this layout. And then I'm cutting it at a diagonal. So she does not have her papers at a diagonal, but it does look like she leaves a large border around her papers. And so I am leaving a large white border around mine. Maybe not as large as hers, but for me, this is large. Normally I'm like 1/8 of an inch around all four sides. In this case, I believe I am 1/2 inch away on 3 sides. The inner side is not going to be a 1/2 inch away because it is going to meet in the center with the other piece. Now, I didn't think about it because when I cut these, they are cut differently. Obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious. They're cut so that there is 1 inch cut off height-wise, but only 1/2 inch off width-wise. And I didn't really take that into account, but you can see here, it's making my paper wonky. And I didn't really think about it. I could have just switched the blue paper to the opposite page and it would have been fine. But yeah, I think it's because I cut it with the other side up. So I'm going to end up going with the mixed media side up. And it's totally fine. I kind of was going back and forth on what I was going to do anyway. And that just made the decision for me because I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention. So my diagonal is definitely not, it's not, I don't want to say square because it's not a square, but it's not, all my sides are not equal. My two shorter sides are not equal to each other. So yeah, I'm sure you people who did a lot of geometry and stuff in school remember the names of those triangles, and I know somebody's going to tell me in my comments, and that's okay, but I will not remember. I just don't have room in this brain for that, I guess. And maybe because it's not super important to me. But anyway, So here I am. I am just matching up my pages so that I've got the lighter color of the blues on the inside, the darker colors of the blues on the outer edges. And then I have a bunch of photos that are printed slightly smaller than 3x4. They're printed on my selfie, so my selfie print's a little bit smaller, and plus I printed with a border. But I am also going to back all of these with some black cardstock, or photo mats actually. I'm using the 4.5 by 6.5 inch photo mats from Hobby Lobby, and I am going to just trim those down to be 4 by 6 and then in half, and then I will mat my photos. So that's going to give me a nice little black border. It's going to make everything pop, and I really like it. It's going to play well with the cut file, which is also black. And the photos, in case you're wondering what those are, that is on board the Royal Caribbean ship that MK and I taught on last February. And it is in the arcade. It is the Skee Ball game, which is kind of funny. I don't think we even looked at any of the other arcade games, but I don't know if it's just people from our era that just go straight for the Skee Ball or what. But yeah, we played some Skee Ball. So it's me, her, my friend Anne Marie, and Sandy over from State Goddess. So the four of us were there playing a little bit of Skee Ball and just having a good old time. So I'm just kind of playing around with where I want these stars, and I'm trying to use as much of the cut file as I can because I don't really want to save it for something else. I do have 2 of these cut files, and I couldn't tell you who the creator of the cut file was, to be honest with you. They've been in my stash for way too long for me to know who even created them. But anyway, I am going to go ahead and cut them apart and make them work for me. And I'm going to go in a diagonal just like Deb has on her sketch. Now my photos are not split apart quite like hers. I like mine kind of grouped all in the center, and you see me that do this on, I would say, probably 95% of my double page layouts. I like my photos to kind of be clustered towards the center. Just otherwise, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it having them spread out, and I do that sometimes. But when I am carrying my papers across the center, I kind of feel like my photos should be carried across the center as well. Otherwise, I feel like I'm doing more of a companion page, which is totally okay. This could have been 2 companion pages. It wouldn't have mattered. But because my papers are not going, or are going across the center of the page, then I kind of like my photos this way too. So that's just me, but you can do it however you like. Now I did go to some of my older Pink Fresh Studio dies, and I believe this is called Leah Ornate uppercase. And so I did go and die cut the words Skee Ball out of some more of that black paper from Hobby Lobby. And this particular font die cuts the inside and an outline as well, all at the same time. So I kind of went back and forth on what I was going to choose, whether I was going to use an outline or if I was going to use the solid portions of it. And the length of the width of the area that I have here kind of dictates that for me, because I was going to use the word ball, but as you can see there, it's too wide. So I'm going to switch it, and Skee is going to be in the outline. And that's going to fit because I'm going to stagger my letters quite a bit because of that K and the big swoosh from the bottom of the K and the little piece that's in the upper left-hand corner. I don't know what that's called. It's kind of dictating for me where I can put things. And then I did make ball fit, but I am using the insides. If I'd used the outsides, it would have been a little bit wider for each letter, and that kind of pushed it over into the white border, and I didn't really want that. So I decided to use the solid for the ball and the outline for the Skee. And then I am also going to go and use some Tim Holtz for Sizzix tiny letter dies, and I am going to put the words at sea, and they're so small I'm going to tuck them in under the K and under the second E in Skee. And so it will actually read Skee Ball at Sea, or maybe Skee at Sea Ball. I don't know. The intention is for Skee Ball at Sea, but I didn't want to bring it down below the actual word ball. I wanted to keep it all kind of contained in there. And so hopefully you can read it that way. I actually did consider using a different font completely and putting the word the word sea, S-E-A, with a K in brackets in the middle so that it would be like sea ball and like the word sea, if that makes any sense. But then I thought, well, maybe that's too cheesy. I don't know if anybody will get that besides me. So I just was like, yeah, I think I'll just go with what I have here. And I could have used a different font and maybe it would have actually fit, but in this font it definitely wouldn't have fit with a couple of brackets around the letter K because that K is super wide. So I'm just using a little bit of glue on the back of my hand to tap my letters into, and that kind of keeps me from having too much glue pool out from underneath the letters when I glue them down onto my layout, so I don't have like a puddle of glue below my layers or my letters. So now I am just rummaging through this little pack of photo type negatives and frames and types of stuff. That it's just a pack that MK sent me, and so I just got it from her just like last week. So I've definitely wanted to play with it and see what it was all about. And so I'm going to use a couple of those those pieces, including one of those orange pieces, because I want an orange piece down in the bottom of my layout somewhere, because I felt like right now I've got a diagonal going, which is great, no problem. But I thought, you know what, if I bring in another little bit of an area, I can do maybe a little bit of journaling, although I could journal in those tags. I don't have a ton to say about this, but it will give me another option for an embellishment area. So I have these labels. These are from Pretty Little Studio. I am just trimming them, and I use my hole punch to cut out the corners because the corners have that little indentation on them. And so I use my hole punch to kind of do that, and then just trim around them with a pair of scissors. Sorry, I was going to say stapler. With a pair of scissors. I did trim down a couple of these pieces that I am tucking under so that I can use them in different areas and not waste product that is just going to be hidden. And then I also went to my stash of tickets and such, and I'm bringing in a little bit of a deeper orange to each one of my areas, and I really like how that's looking. There's a little bit of this deeper orange in the photos kind of at the top. I believe it's probably red in the actual arcade, but it reads kind of as an orangey red on screen. So I thought that worked really well. And I thought the overall color scheme from our Color Craze selection worked great with these photos, because there's actually some green in the photos. There's actually a little bit of green on the left hand side of the inspiration piece that we have there, although it's not super obvious because it's very minimal. But I thought it played well with that whole inspiration piece, being that there's some turquoise and blue, and with the green in the photos, it kind of makes things the blues read as a turquoise. And so I'm really liking how it's coming together. Basically, all that to say that I like it. I am going to stamp with some 49 and Market stamps. These are called Gabby's Line Stitch Stamp. These are really old. Been in my stash for a long, long time. 2016, you guys. But I keep around stamps like this that you can use for just about anything. They are stitching stamps, and then I'm going to finish out that stitching by doing a sketchy line coming off of the stitching all the way around the rest of the layout. I didn't want that detailed stitching everywhere because I felt like it would be a little bit too much, but I do like it up in the corners, and I'm really happy with the way that it's looking and coming together. Not really up in the corners, upper corner and lower corner, so diagonal from each other. Lots of diagonal going on here. So that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget, there are a bunch of people playing along with 30 days of cut files, not cut files, 30 days of sketches. You guys, it's late and I'm tired. Sorry. 30 days of sketches. There's a playlist down below for that, so you can go and check out everyone else playing along. Don't forget to check out what MK is doing with her Color Craze inspiration, and there are other people playing along with us in my Facebook group and in her Facebook group. Links to everything is down below, or are down below, so you can go and check that out really easily. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys soon with another one. Bye bye.